blessed day to you all, and welcome to B2C Tutorials. As part of sessions, we want to look at how to compute for net present value when the question is not in a tabular form. We've been used to the tabular form of solving for net present value. Okay, so this is a follow-up on whatever we've discussed in our previous recordings that can be found on our page. The question reads, a project requires 50,000 Ghana cedis and generates 30,000 cedis in 1 year and 30,000 cedis in year 2. The discount rate is 10% and the discount factors are year 1, 0.9009, year 2, 0.826. Then the question is, what is the NPV? So basically, we are being asked to look out for what we call total present value minus our initial outlay or initial investment outlay. That is the money we use for the project. So let us look at how to get certain items from the question. That gives us what the NPV is. Okay. So when you read a question, it says a project requires. So this is the amount of money that you are supposed to invest. That is the outlay. That is year 0. Now in year 1, the money that will be coming into the business is what we call the inflow, 30,000. And in year 2, also 30,000. Now, there is a question that goes on that asks, what is the difference between discount factor and discount rate? Okay. To find NPV, we need to do present value, or we need to find present value. It means that the inflow of 30,000 for year 1, the inflow 30,000 for year 2 are all future values. This 30,000 is a future value, and this 30,000 is also a future value. So we need to use that to find a present value and find them. So we know present values formula is equal to the future value divided by 1 plus r raised to the power n. And we said that this can also be written as future value multiplied by 1 over 1 plus r raised to the power n. Now, in our previous recording, I told you that these 1 over 1 plus r raised to the power n is what we call the discount factor. This is called the discount factor. So if this is a discount factor, the R in it is the discount rate. The R, which is this R, is the discount rate. Or this R is what we call the discount rate or interest rate. Okay. This would mean that I said if you are using a calculator, this is what you do. If you are using a table, you first have to go to the table and find out the discount factor considering the percentage and the number of years. But lo and behold, according to this question, the discount factors have been given you. So these whole thing have been given you. So to find present value, you just need to multiply the future value at that year by that discount factor that has been given you. So that now that they have provided the discount factor, I said the clue is that when the discount factor is given you, consider using the discount factor and don't use the calculator for it. Pick the discount factor and then multiply it by the future value. So quickly, I'll solve it by saying that for present value for year 1, which is going to be the future value multiplying the discount factor of 1 over 1 plus r raised to the power n. Now, I know the discount factor to be, I know this 1 over 1 plus to be 0.90909, and I know the future value for that particular year to be 30,000. Now, if that is the case, what is 30,000 multiplied by 0.909? Quickly, this would give me 27,270. 27,270. How about year 2? So present value for year 2 follows the same trend. We are using discounting factor, so it would have been that future value of 30,000 multiplying the discounted factor at year 2, which was given you in the question as 0.826. 0.826. So multiply by 0.826, which gives us 24,780. Now, when I put these two present value together, that is what I get the total present value. So the TPV, total present value, is the addition of the two present value for year 1 and for year 2, which automatically gives me 52,050. Now, if this is the figure for the total present value, it means that our initial investment of 50,000 from the total present value. So the total present value have 52,050, and our initial investment was 50,000. When I take 50,000 from 52,000, my final answer will be 2,000, which is for NPV, will be 2,050. Okay. Now, this is when we have been given a discount factor in the question. Assuming that we have the same question, okay, we are going to assume that we have the same question without a discount factor. How do we go about it? Same question without a discount factor in the question. How do you navigate around it? Okay. So, a minute, please. Okay, so the same question without any discounting factor. Let's assume this question. Same question, the same question. I'm not changing the question. Okay. All right. So, assuming you read the question and it has no discounting factor, but then it has the discount rate and the number of years, that is when we can go ahead and use the calculator. So that one, when we find the present value for year 1, it would have been the 30,000, it would have been future value multiplying 1 over 1 plus r raised to the power n, which eventually gives us 30,000 multiplying 1 over 1 plus 10% raised to the power year 1. And then the next one would have been present value for year 2. Same approach, 30,000 multiplied by 1 over 1 plus 10% raised to the power 2. When you are done, you add them together and then you subtract the initial outlay from it, which will give you the total present value. Now, if the question has a discount factor, the discount factor in it, you need to use the discount factor to determine the present values, Now, this discount factor is what I said is on the tables. It's on the tables. So if you have forgotten how to read the table, I have shared a recording on that already, and I've given you how the table looks like. Kindly visit the previous recordings and get the table format too as well. And I believe you'll be fine. So in case you have a question you want to ask, you can feel free to ask anytime, any day, leaving it in the chat box or texting me on my numbers that you see. So this is it. I made mention that the whole of these table where you see present value, the items you see there are the discounting factor. So you can see 10% for year 1. When you trace the year 1 to 10%, you see 0.9091. So they have given it to you already. So you don't need to go and look for it. You don't need to go and look for it again because the question has given you. But if the question hadn't given you and had asked you to use the table, that is when we will go and look for it. Okay. So this one, the question has already provided this and this for us. And I'm saying that the discounted factor is the 1 over the 1 plus the r raised to the power n. That figure, this discounted figure, is supposed to multiply the future value. It is not supposed to divide the future value. It is supposed to multiply the future value. So if you have a discounted factor, it multiplies the future value. It multiplies the future value. I believe that is fine. Yes, so the discounted factor multiplies the future value. Okay. So on this note, we'll draw the curtains here. And then we'll have a further discussion in our next meeting. Have a blessed day and bye-bye.